First off, let me ask you, Theodora, to introduce yourself, who you are, and what do you exactly do in the world of global mobility.
So I'm Theodora Jantol. I'm the founder of the Passport Investor platform, which is a global mobility platform that connects high network individuals, entrepreneurs, global citizens, and those that want to become global citizens to second citizenship and residency options, business setup opportunities in a number of countries across the globe, internationalization strategy consulting. And what sets us apart is that we do relocation to the Balkans, specifically Serbia and Croatia.
Mm-hmm. Perfect, perfect. And how did you first get into this space? Because from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, the way people get into this space, it's like very varied. Some get into it randomly, some get into it by reference. So, what was your path into investment migration?
I would say it was very accidentally and very natural for me because I did my master's in Rome, and so I was an expert in Rome. And coincidentally, COVID hit exactly that same year. So I just wanted to escape, and I ended up in Serbia. And there I was having a lot of friends who were experts. And as I was also going through the process from being an expert to a citizen, after a while, others were reaching out to me for my experience, my help. And then I was referring them to the people that helped me, those legal professionals. And after a while, step by step, gradually, it developed into a career. And this is where we are now.
Great. So, when someone reaches out to you, what kind of help do you offer them? So, you mentioned you have relocation, residency, citizenship. What does it entail? What do your services entail?
So oftentimes people reach out without having a clear idea what they need. I do get questions, how can you help me? And that's not very specific. But some individuals want to see second options for themselves and their family members. I had a number of inquiries from Serbian individuals who wanted to get a European passport or residency specifically because of their children, because they want their children to study in other parts of Europe or the US. For some, it is possible through descent, those that have ancestry in another European Union country. Uh, for Serbs specifically, very often that is Croatia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. But those that do not have descent options, there are the golden visa programs, which can serve towards a path to getting an EU citizenship after a while.
Let's stop by for a quick second there. What is the difference between investment migration and migration? Because I think people have it mixed up.
Uh, Yes, exactly. I do get inquiries which are not investment migration related. It's just general migration, specifically because for the general public, there is no understanding between those two fields. Investment migration is basically based on financial investment, whereas normal migration is a different kind of migration. It's for individuals who can move to another country, live and work there for a specific amount of years, and then obtain another citizenship or residency, whereas investors have the option through investment migration programs to invest their money. And once they are approved after due diligence and all kinds of background checks, then they can uh, invest their money into a program, let's say Portugal, Golden Visa, which enables after 5 years to get to apply for a passport, or one of the Caribbean programs to invest and get a Caribbean passport. There is also Turkey, Malta. There are a number of programs all across the globe.
Mhm. And what does investment migration look like in the Balkans? What are the options? Let's go with, for example, Serbia.
Well, there are some programs not as official as those golden visas, but there are residency options tightly connected to investment. Let's say residency by investment based on purchasing or investing into a property. And individuals who invest into a property in Serbia can move there, live there, and obtain residency based on investing in a property. Or individuals can also invest and set up a business, and then they can move to Serbia as entrepreneurs and business owners of a company in Serbia.
Mhm, mhm. And do these options look the same, or are they very similar across the Balkan countries?
No, some countries do not have are not that rich in such offers. Some are stricter, some are less strict. Some are more welcoming to foreigners, some are less welcoming to foreigners. So it can vary from country to country, but many do have such options.
If we could come up with specific examples, or maybe um yes, categorization. So who's a good fit for Serbia? Who's a good fit for Croatia? Who's a good fit for Slovenia? Maybe. Um, what would those types of clients be?
Let's start with Croatia. Croatia has a digital nomad visa, and individuals who work remotely can spend a year as digital nomads in Croatia with that kind of visa. It can be somebody who is geographically close to Croatia but outside of the European Union. There is also the option of Croatia being a good destination for other individuals who live in the European Union who just want to relocate to another country. Uh, those are not digital nomad visa clients, as they already are EU citizens, but it is an option for them for a number of reasons. Let's say the culture, the food, the geographic location, the beautiful coast. We have a number of really stunning cities, national parks. A lot of people have friends in Croatia. Balkans are usually warm people and fun people. The culture is more laid back. And usually, what I see is individuals who left this region 20, 30 years ago, went abroad to work and make money, they're coming back to spend their retirement back home.
That's something we discussed. It was the good old Slavic way of leaving your home for a bit, or maybe even a bit longer, working, making money, and then coming back home for retirement. I think that's the good old Slavic recipe.
Yeah, the tradition in Croatia was that individuals were working, let's say, in Germany, which is a very popular destination to go work, and they were making money and investing that money in their house at home or buying a property at home. So they have a place to come back to.
That's something that I want to clear up for our listeners that are from EU. Can you, as a European citizen with free travel, just pick up your bags, pick up your life, move to another EU country without getting visa or another permission to stay permanently or long term in that country, or can you not do that?
Well, that is a good question that an immigration lawyer for a specific country would be able to answer. It's a bit above my field. However, you can spend time in another EU country, but you cannot move there without changing your place of residency. We have a client actually recently, a Croatian, that is moving to Spain, and he already has an apartment in Spain. But he still has to change his residency because residency is tied to taxes, and for a number of reasons, you do have to adapt your bureaucracy.
So it's not possible to just pick up your bags in the within an EU and move to another EU country for 3 years without doing any bureaucracy or any paperwork.
Well, if you spend more than 183 days, you do trigger tax residency, usually. So if you live in a place more than that time period, you have to become a resident in many cases.
That's an important piece of information for many that plan to retire in another country that they can't just move.
Yes, and in these cases, there is estate planning and tax planning. So I see that wealthier individuals do consult with their lawyers regarding that, just to avoid the tax being triggered. So many from the UK, let's say, have recently relocated to Italy, but they are fine with splitting their time between multiple locations. So they do spend their time in Italy for the amount of time they can be there without triggering tax residency. Or there are some other options as well.
Understood. So when it comes to your clients, and you mentioned entrepreneurs, investors, what would you say is an entrepreneur a typical client? And yes, that's basically the question. What does your typical client look like that wants to move to the Balkans, fully relocate to the Balkans?
So I would say it's an entrepreneur that has to also move his business. So also business setup has to be done. And residency, relocation, finding an apartment for that person. Some people prefer to do it on their own. However, our legal team can assist with the residency and the business setup. And we also have realtors that can help finding an accommodation. But also, many, when they move countries, they get confused regarding regulations, which is very normal. Every country differs. So it takes time for them to adapt to new rules, specifically for entrepreneurs. However, individuals that move to the Balkans as entrepreneurs, they're moving here for a reason. Perhaps it are lower taxes in Serbia, maybe it's the strategic location, maybe they want to be in the EU, so they opt for Croatia. But there is also another type of client when it comes to the Balkans. It are usually people who have family ties with this region. So they're coming back, they are reconnecting with their roots. Many are choosing to leave Western countries like Germany and the US, Canada, and are coming back to Croatia and Serbia to raise their children here. I would say the Balkans and this part of Europe are more family friendly than Western countries.
That's something we have also discussed, traditions and also the people reconnecting back to their roots. What other things are pulling people back to their roots? Maybe what they can't find in the Western countries or in the Western so-called more developed cities.
I would say that many got disappointed with the direction that the West is heading, and it's the extreme liberalism. And if you are from a Balkan family, you are raised more traditionally. So it is quite a normal reaction to look for a more traditional place, especially when you have children or plan to have children. I have a number of friends who relocated to Serbia because they wanted to give their children a better education and a better lifestyle and to spend more time with their children, not just working.
You had a friend, right? That wanted to move from the US to Serbia, right?
Yes, that friend. Yes, one of my close friends. She left Miami and moved to Belgrade.
Yeah, and what was the reaction she got from Serbians, and what was the reaction she got from the US?
Uh, a famous misconception regarding the Balkans is that it is very dangerous to live here. So people were surprised. They thought she's moving to basically a war zone, a criminal area. While in reality, it is actually the opposite. The Balkans are a lot safer than many Western countries. You can fall asleep on a bench in the park and nothing will happen, only in exceptional cases, but nothing will happen.
You can't do that in Berlin,
I have not tried it yet.
but you shouldn't either. Or in London, or in Paris.
I am seeing recently more and more people that travel there for just weekend getaways. They are surprised how not clean these cities are compared to what we are used here. We here in the Balkans are quite, we are raised to believe that there is an American dream, that the West is an example of the perfect society. We always dream of the West. And it is often that individuals who go and live in Western countries, they realize that they just want to come home and start to appreciate everything we have here.
We often underappreciate the things we have here, and one of those things that I also came across it when I was looking into investment migration. It was the passport. So how is the Serbian or Croatian passport compared to Western passports, so that our Slavic friends or people with Slavic roots that want to get a citizenship by descent, how is that passport compared to the West?
Well, it's normal for individuals who are not in this industry to think that the US and the UK, they must be the best passports in the world. But actually, if we look at the passport comparison, the passport index, for example, the surprising fact is that Croatia ranks better than the US and the UK. Croatia has access to 173 countries, while the US to 170. But I think it's also a surprise to many in Europe, especially in the Balkans.
Definitely is. I think Slovakia has what, the fourth strongest,
Yes,
fifth?
the Croatian one, it depends on the ranking, but
Yeah.
according to the passport index ranking, the Croatian is at rank 5, whereas the American and the UK are at rank 8.
We have discussed the family values and maybe the safety, the also kind of cleanliness of Western Europe compared to the Balkans, but you also touched on taxes and the business environment in the Balkans. So, what are we looking at as, for example, an entrepreneur? What would an entrepreneur be looking at tax wise, regulation wise, if we were to set up a business in Serbia?
Well, when it comes to Serbia, the main advantages is the corporate tax, which is 15%. And if we would compare that to Western European countries and the US, there is quite a significant difference because many Western European countries are at about 25 to 30% when it comes to the corporate tax, and Serbia is only at 15. And there are also a number of other taxes. However, I can provide only a general overview as I'm not a tax advisor. Uh, so another thing that a person looking to relocate to Serbia as an entrepreneur would look for is the strategic location. It's Europe, but it's not in the EU. However, it borders with the EU, so you can easily access the European Union and you can easily access the other non-European Union countries. You can go on a plane and you can be in 1 hour in Istanbul or in an hour and a half in London. You can easily go to New York, to Russia, to China. It's very well connected with the rest of the world due to its location. And even you don't have to fly, you can take the car and explore the neighboring countries. Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria. It's there is a lot of weekend getaway options. Important for entrepreneurs who have a family.
For sure.
So, in addition to the low taxes and the strategic location, another thing is that setting up a business it does not require tens of thousands of euros in investment. It can be done quite affordably and very fast. It is not one of the over-regulated countries. There are regulations, but it's not over-regulated as many Western countries are.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still flexibility to doing business in Serbia. There are over 60 trade agreements between Serbia and other countries. The country is not in the CSR agreement system, so banking is still private, which some individuals are looking for. And there are sectors that are continuing to grow, such as IT, manufacturing, real estate. There are a number of industries that are attractive to foreigners. It depends what another person is doing. So there is a lot of things that are attractive to regarding Serbia.
And the workforce, if they were to hire employees in Serbia, the workforce, how is it in terms of language? I would expect, language-wise, they would be able to work globally. It should be.
Yes, we are a culture that values education extremely. So most Serbs are very well educated and they do speak more languages.
Mhm.
So it's very English friendly. That is one of the things that many foreigners are surprised about when they come to Serbia, how English friendly everybody is. Well, you can find 60-plus-year-old grandmas and grandpas. They might not be that well versed in English. However, the younger generations, especially, and with all these social media and internet, I believe that the younger generations are more similar to each other across the globe than within a specific culture.
Well, that's great news for anyone looking to set up business and employ people in Serbia directly.
Yes.
And
Talent is what Serbia has. I mean, the whole Balkans.
and the real estate market. So it's no secret that the world is currently being troubled by expensive real estate, and the West specifically. So a person from a Western country, if they were to move to Serbia, would they, or Croatia, how would they find the real estate? Would they find it to be affordable or not affordable for their wages? How is the real estate prices there?
So it depends on where you are looking for the property. Of course, that capital cities and the bigger cities are more expensive as the majority of the population is there and majority of happenings are there. So I would say those are the most expensive places. However, on the outskirts of these cities and in smaller cities, properties are quite affordable. So if you have a person moving from the US and they have savings and want to invest in a property, they might find it affordable compared to what they could get back home. But it also depends from where in the US or Germany that person is coming.
I'm seeing the average house price in the U.S. $361,000. Should be able to afford something in Serbia.
Yet they can. They can afford an apartment in the city center, as the city center of Belgrade is expensive, like every capital. But if they would look for a house in a smaller, well connected place, they could buy a really nice house. It is more expensive for the locals that have local salaries, but for foreigners who have savings from abroad, it's affordable.
We have talked about the pros, that it's a good environment for entrepreneurs, that it's more traditional, fairly safe, so it's great for families. But on the other hand, so to remain a bit more objective, who wouldn't probably thrive in the Balkans? So who wouldn't be an ideal candidate for relocation to the Balkans?
I would say a person whose values and culture are very contrasting to the one present here. So individuals who are extremely liberal might not feel very comfortable here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a famous place for relocation for individuals who want to escape the woke culture. So somebody who is more on that end would probably not be able to understand how traditional we are, and our family values. Um, that's one category. And I would also not suggest a workaholic to move here, because if you make friends here, it will make you enjoy life, go out, enjoy the coffee culture, which means drinking coffee and chatting for hours and hours. They will make you go out, dance, sing, and enjoy your life. So if you're a workaholic, the Balkans might not be the best place. You will make friends.
So no workaholics. That's a pretty narrow spectrum. Yes, and people that are more liberal leaning probably wouldn't feel the fit there as much.
Yeah, and if you don't speak Serbian or Croatian or English, then it might be an issue as well.
If you don't speak English, I understand that.
Yes, if you don't speak English, it will be a bit more difficult for you to connect with somebody.
Definitely. We mentioned it's a fairly traditional region. What are some of the traditions in the Balkans?
So every holiday is usually spent with the family, of course. And many go to the church for mass or liturgy. But a very specific thing related to the Orthodox Easter is the egg tapping. We tap eggs and break them. That's one of the things. We have also other traditions like Slava, which is unique to the Serbian Orthodox culture. It usually means that every family has a patron saint and they celebrate that person on that saint's day. Also, we have rakia, which is the most famous drink. It's a fruit. It's a fruit brandy. Very important to Balkan culture, and it's part of toasting, hanging out with friends, celebrations, at weddings, at funerals, at special gatherings. Rakia is always present. And we have a very specific food culture. Yes, the Balkan cuisine is loved and cherished, and we have specific foods like burek, cevapi, the sarma, um, like a lot of meat dishes that's very present in our culture. And Croatia, as it has a coast, there is also the Dalmatian cuisine, which is more fish and sea based.
Mm-hmm. So question: if a vegan comes around, decides to relocate to the Balkans,
Yes, that I mean, we welcome everybody who can contribute to our cultures and our nations. But if you are a vegan, then you might feel a bit odd. I mean, there are some vegan products in stores. However, if you're vegan, you will not be able to enjoy the Balkan cuisine.
this will make for a great clip.
Yes and no. I mean, we can add this. One of the categories on individuals who should not move to the Balkans are vegans. Because, like dairy, eggs, meat, it's very present in our culture. And most of our cuisine is based on meat, Serbia specifically. Croatia already picked up a number of cuisines from the Austrian culture. And of course, there is the fish in Dalmatia. But we have prosciutto like the Italians. It's Dalmatian prosciutto. If you're vegan, you cannot eat prosciutto. Historically, that part of the country was it belongs to Italians throughout history. So we have a lot of Italian dishes there.
So who wouldn't probably prosper in the Balkans?
Vegans.
Very liberal people and vegans. Okay, that's the summary for for our social media accounts.
Yes,
Great.
very liberal people, people who are very individualistic and against traditional values, and vegans would not thrive in
Mhm.
the Balkans. There are
Mhm.
some people who think that they are thriving if they are not married and they don't have children and that they live only for themselves. But that is very unnatural for us. Family is very important and friends.
I think that's a perfect answer to that question. I think we answered that. We went through that thoroughly. Thank you very much. And to maybe get your opinion on the future of the Balkans and of the region. So right now you see people reconnecting to their roots a bit more. Do you see that trend as continuing, growing? Do you see another trend maybe picking up? So you mentioned entrepreneurs. What are some trends that you see picking up for the future of the Balkans?
So one of the things that is happening now in Croatia is repatriation. A lot of the individuals that left for Germany, Austria, the UK, even Ireland, they're coming back because they cannot make as much money there anymore as before. And there is a lack of certain jobs here in the Balkans. So if you are a plumber, electrician, skilled in some specific kind of trade, then you can earn a lot of money here at home. There is no need for you to go live abroad. I made a video recently on it, and my expectation was I will get some threats and insults. However, 80% of the comments were, "We are coming back. We are coming back. Yes, we want to come back. We miss home so much. We are coming back." A lot of the people in the comments confirmed it. People are coming back, and yes, Croatia is not as bad as they thought.
It's a real shift when Slavs are openly proclaiming they're coming back to their own country because they find it better.
In the comments, it was like everywhere it's terrible, but so we're coming back. But I do understand when you're abroad, you have to pay for accommodation. You have more expenses than you would have at home. At home, you have the option perhaps to live with your family. So there is already one cost less.
Hmm. Well, that's the good old the grass is always greener on the other side. We've been lured into that.
Education system and the medical system are here better. They're I mean, they're not fully for free. People do pay for that through their salaries and contribution to the country, but it's not as the system in the West.
It's a massive difference. When you think about it, like as I mentioned, my family they went to Canada, looking for a better life, and they found, I would say, a better life in a way that's means having more job opportunities and business opportunities, bigger market. But when it came to it, when it came to treatment and maybe some social certainty, some social backing, they didn't have that there. Getting an MRI scan there, they schedule you 1.5 years uh, out, right? It takes 1.5 years to get a scan. Right here in Slovakia, well, it's not rocket fast, but it takes, let's go with 2 months, which is nothing compared to 1.5 years, and you get it for free compared to the US.
Plus,
So,
you can do it also privately here, and the private medical care is here affordable to the private medical care in the US.
so yes, now that you touched on that, how is the private healthcare in the Balkans compared to the US? So is that something that can be found easily? Um, would you say it's cheaper? Would you say it's about equally as expensive as the US?
It's not equally expensive. No, it's cheaper. Most of the expats that move here, they tend to use private medical care, especially those that have foreign clients and work online. For them, it's nothing. And it's still a better option, a higher quality service. And you get everything done easily and faster if you have the means to go to do everything privately. Or you have social medical care and then you wait a bit, but it's not, nothing can compare to some Western countries. Sadly, the situation there is very different.
We are moving closer to the end of our episodes. I'd like you to maybe tell our listeners what is one thing you wish more people understood about the Balkans as a relocation option.
First, it's not uh, the way it is portrayed in movies and music spots, music videos. There is no criminal culture. It's only in the music videos. It's safe. That's the first thing. It's safe. It's clean. The education is basically for free. Um, you have a better work life balance. Your life is not just about work, you also get to enjoy your life, going out with friends, go out. I mean, if you are an entrepreneur building your business, of course that you will work 24/7. That is normal in every culture. But for an average person that does a job, there is a better work life balance. It's normal for our parents to spend time with their children. The geographic location, you can travel the rest of Europe easily. That is one of the biggest benefits.
And our last question of this episode, Theodora,
Yes.
if you could give one piece of advice to someone advising high net worth clients, what would it be in relation to the Balkans?
Um, there is opportunity, but nobody talks about it. These countries are very underrated and not talked about. Many people do not know that this region actually exists. Many people do not know that you can enjoy stunning beaches in Croatia, amazing cuisine, and be part of the EU. And also, only a handful of people know about Serbia and that the business environment there is quite friendly due to the lower taxes. And if you live in this part of the world, you can travel the rest of the Europe as much as you want. You can do business with the rest of the world. These underrated countries have surprising advantages nobody knows about.
Yes, they are out of focus of most people.
Yes, it's not a village. Many people expect it here, like the capital, it's like a village and poverty. And when they come for the first time, they get surprised. Oh, you have huge buildings, skyscrapers, the architecture. It's a typical European architecture, that aristocratic touch.
So could we say that your message to people advising H&W clients would be don't be afraid to look into the Balkans. There's a lot of opportunity that's still laying unexplored and could bring a lot of value to your clients.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Theodora. Thank you for finding the time. And I look forward to having you on again. And I look forward to our further discussions. Thank you very much.